Hey everyone, it's Laura. Welcome to Mask Monday. The mask I'm using today is this one that I showed if you watched my Stylevana haul video that I got from Stylevana. It's the brand Some by Me, and Me is M-I, and it's a retinol intense reactivating mask, and it has retinol and bakuchiol, and it says it's good for elasticity, signs of aging, and wrinkles. It's very moisturizing and very goopy. I had to put a towel on my lap as I was putting it on because it was dripping everywhere. But I like this mask. I did this one once before when I was testing the products, off camera. So I wanted to show you guys how nice this mask is. And I will put a link for my Stylevana video in the description box below, and for my code if you're interested in checking out anything. Their products are really, really affordable and reasonable, and it's all K-Beauty. So this is also obviously I just said it's K-Beauty. This is a mask that's from Korea. So really, really like it. Doesn't have a scent, other than just like a clean thing, but it's very gooey and it stays on really nice, which I like, and it's good. So hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Once again, I did not. You guys, 2023 has been kicking my butt. When are things going to start getting better? Somebody please tell me. Send good vibes out into the universe, positive thoughts, prayers, whatever you believe in. This wasn't horrible. It wasn't as bad as, the first weekend of January, but Friday night, we decided not to go out to dinner with my dad. That's what we normally do on Fridays because it was... the wind chills were well below zero here. The high temperature on Friday was 8 single degrees. So we said, we'll wait and go Saturday. I was like, that's perfect. So I just came home. I relaxed. Ricky had to work. I just did stuff around the house, whatever. And then Saturday, my plans were to do laundry and stuff around the house and then possibly go by my mom. I was either going to go by her Saturday or Sunday. And while I was figuring out what I wanted to do and I was being lazy and, catching up on YouTube and whatever, my dad called me about, I think 1:30 and said, he hates to bother me. He doesn't want to be a pain, but would you be able to, if you don't have plans, would it be okay if you came over and took me to urgent care? I'm like, what's going on? He said, I have a sore on my thumb and it's turned colors and it's been bothering me for a couple weeks and it's gotten worse. And I was like, say less, I'm on my way. So we had planned on I was possibly going to go by my mom Saturday, or we were going to do dinner with my dad Saturday since we didn't do it Friday. So usually my brother takes him grocery shopping on Saturday. So I called my brother. I said, don't take Dad grocery shopping. I'm taking him to urgent care. I'll fill you in. It doesn't sound like it's too bad, but we'll go get him checked out. So anyway, went and got my dad. It's his thumb on his left hand. It is so gross. I won't insert a picture here for anyone that's squeamish. Apparently he had a hangnail that he cut with some scissors. How clean these scissors were, we don't know. And does my dad wash his hands regularly like he should? No, he does not. Never has. He's terrible at it. He's an old school guy that, is just not a very clean person. Let's just put it that way. His thumb, like on the side, the inner part of the part that faces your palm, was black, red, and green. Very colorful. So yeah, I was like, yeah, it's definitely infected, Dad. Get in, let's go to urgent care. So we went there's an urgent care clinic 15 minutes from his house. So that's not a big deal. And it was Saturday afternoon. So luckily it wasn't real busy. There was only one other person ahead of us. So they took him back pretty much within minutes of getting there, which was nice. The nurse took one look at him and said, it's tracking up your arm. She said, when she looked at his inner arm, she saw red lines. And I'm like, well, that's not good. That means it's, gotten in his bloodstream. She's like, I think you're going to probably need to go to the hospital, but let me send the doctor in. Great. So the doctor comes in, he looks at it and he goes, yeah, I see what she's talking about. It looks like it's tracking up your arm. I couldn't see it. And yes, I wear glasses and I don't have the best vision, but my vision's not that bad. My dad's is terrible. So I knew he couldn't see it. But the resident's like, yeah, you're going to have to go to the hospital, get IV antibiotics, and they're most likely going to admit you. And we're like, whoa, admit him? Come on. Like, please don't do this to me. My mom just got out of the hospital a couple weeks ago. I can't do this right now. And I knew it still, it wasn't like it'd be an extended stay, but I just didn't want to deal with that. And I knew my dad would run kicking and screaming. There's no way he'd want to be admitted. And this guy said, but I'm just a resident. Let me send in my, the senior resident or whoever his boss is. I'm like, great. So another doctor comes in and all of them ask him the same story. What happened? Why are you here? And so he has to tell the story again and whatever. And he looked at it and he said, I kind of see what they're talking about. To me, it may be tracking. It's hard to tell. That could just be redness from, my dad could have just been rubbing it. Because like I said, I didn't see it. He's like, but this is an urgent care clinic. We don't have the facilities or the equipment to give you IV antibiotics and do blood work. They have the lab right there at the hospital. So what do you think? And he was looking at me and my dad started to answer. And I was like, Dad, he's asking my opinion. And in my opinion, I think you should go to the hospital because this doctor, the second doctor said, I don't think you'll need to stay overnight. Don't worry about that. Because I brought it up. I said, the other doctor said we might have to stay overnight. He said, no, they'll just do, they'll send out the cultures and do blood work and give you IV antibiotics and drain it and probably send you home with a prescription. And I said, well, if that's the case, let's just go, Dad. And he's like, okay, fine. So the hospital is about another 20 minutes from there. Went to the hospital. Everything was fine. There was not a wait. Thank God. Like they had to sit down and we just got comfortable and they called him back. We were probably at the hospital maybe an hour total, maybe a little more. Because, same thing, you see the nurse. They did x-rays because they wanted to make sure that the infection wasn't in his tendons, I think is what they said. X-rays came back clear. They took 2 different rounds of blood work. I'm not sure why. And they cultured it once they started to drain it. So we don't have the results of that yet. I imagine they'll call. I'm filming this Sunday. Imagine they'll call when you're seeing this Monday with the results. If it's anything to be worried about. Basically what they said was they're going to give us or him antibiotics. They gave him some in an IV. Plus they sent him home with a prescription. And they said if the cultures show it's like a severe type of infection, then we might have to switch what antibiotics you're on or even have you come in for another course of IV antibiotics. But we'll know that once the results come back. But he didn't seem to think so basically I think they were saying if it's MRSA or something horrible like that, then they would be like, hey, come back, so they drained it, which was gross, but cool at the same time. It hurt my dad, I could see him flinching. They poked it with a scalpel and then squeezed some of the pus out. And the swelling went down immediately. His thumb was twice the size of his other thumb. I mean, the part that gets me was my dad said this happened a couple weeks ago and it hurt. It's been hurting him on and off for a couple weeks, but it didn't turn colors until Saturday morning. I don't believe him. I don't believe it got that bad that fast. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying he couldn't see it. My father's vision is horrible. He only has one eye. And the eye that he does see out of his vision is so bad that he's basically legally blind. I mean, he wears glasses, but he really, really has, the older he gets, just the worse and worse it gets, especially seeing up close. His distance vision isn't too terrible, but he doesn't drive anymore. Hasn't driven for several years. But yeah, up close, we have to help him write out his checks and point where to sign, a credit card receipt. He can't always see where the line is. I mean, it's bad. So I think it was a lot worse than what, he knew because he couldn't see it. So anyway, I took him home after that. We stopped to get something to eat for dinner. My brother said he would take him grocery shopping Sunday, today, yesterday when you're seeing this. So they did that. And then I asked my brother, can you take a picture of his thumb and send it to me because my brother didn't see it live. I did send my brother a picture of it on Saturday when I was there, but I said, I just want to compare what it looked like then till now. And it was night and day. His thumb, where the Band-Aid was about the color of this mask. It was bright white, but that's normal, when a Band-Aid's there. But looked like the infection was pretty much gone. But he has a 10-day course of antibiotics, and they said to continue taking it no matter what. So I reminded him of that, and he said he will. And then I'm going to probably go over there probably Tuesday just to look at it if my brother doesn't. just for peace of mind. My dad doesn't live too far away, but I still have to go by my mom. That was the other point of this story. I ended up not going by my mom because I didn't get home Saturday until 8 o'clock. And then today, Sunday, I ended up sleeping in and I was just exhausted, like drained mentally, and did a little bit of laundry and organized my pantry. I did like some stuff around the house, but I just didn't feel like going anywhere. I never even got dressed. I just got out of the shower and put my pajamas on and did my mask and treat myself to a little self-care. So I still have to go by my mom sometime this week. It's just like, it's hard when your parents get older, guys. It really is. I'm struggling. Luckily, what my dad had turned out to be fine. It could have been very serious, though. If that stuff gets in your bloodstream, you can end up with sepsis and you can die. I mean, it could have been really, really bad. So I'm going to have to make a conscious effort of going over there more often, not just for our Friday night dinners, and just like kind of looking him over on the sly. You know what I mean? Making sure he doesn't have any weird bumps or bruises or scratches or cuts or whatever. I did clean for him last week, just cleaned his bathroom and his kitchen real quick. He's still able to vacuum and he dusts, but his bathroom was pretty gross. So his bathroom's tiny. It took me 5 minutes. So I'm going to still continue to do that. He had a lady in his apartment building that was cleaning for him. But she's also a senior person because he lives in a senior apartment. She has cancer now. And so she is physically unable to do it. And we offered to try to find somebody. And my dad's like, I don't want some stranger coming in my apartment, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'd be more than happy to do it. His apartment is not that big. It won't take me that long. He didn't want me to. He wanted to pay me. I'm like, you pay for dinner every time I come over on Friday. That's his thing. He wants to pay for dinner. He won't let us pay. We usually leave the tip when we go out to dinner. But I was like, that's payment enough to spend 5 to 10 minutes cleaning your kitchen and your bathroom. Like I mopped the floor and wiped off the counters and, cleaned his toilet and his sink, and it was not a big deal. I didn't do a shower though, so I actually still have to go do that one of these days. But so suggestions, any help you guys might have. We can't afford like a caregiver. I'm getting afraid that it's probably in the not too distant future, we're gonna have to figure out how much longer he can live alone, which is sad because he's very stubborn and he's very independent. And I don't want to put him in a nursing home. I would not mind him living here. He lived with us for about a month when my parents split up. So that was 5 years ago, I think. Yes, my parents split up when they were in their 70s. They're still married, they're separated. But anyway, he lived with us for about a month while he was looking for an apartment before he found his current apartment where he lives now. It was great. Coco adores him. Ricky and him are like that. Ricky calls him Pops. It's really sweet. They get along great. But we're in a townhouse. The bedrooms are upstairs. The full bathroom is upstairs. Downstairs is just the living room. We have a tiny galley kitchen, a little dining area, and a half bath. So, he would sleep up here we have a spare bedroom and we have a bed in there, but I just would be worried about him going up and down the stairs when we're not home. And I don't think we could spring for getting like one of them chairlift things installed. Like that's so expensive. So I don't know. I'm going to talk to my brother about it and see what he thinks. I would talk to my mom, but she, since they're separated, it's kind of weird. So anyway, I'm giving you guys way too much personal information, but it helps to talk about these things. Sometimes just talking about it, even if I'm just talking to myself, because, this is a one-way conversation for me, it just helps to kind of like work through it in my head. But anyway, that's kind of what I've been wrestling with. So it's been a kind of a crazy weekend, but today I did some stuff around the house, some self-care. I'm getting ready to go watch the Grammys so that I can not recognize half the people on the show because I'm old and I don't know who half of them are, but still it's something entertaining. I hope you guys did something wonderful to treat yourself this weekend. And my favorite holiday is coming up, Valentine's Day. I still don't know what Ricky and I have planned, but we're going to do something. We're going to celebrate it after Valentine's Day, though, like the weekend after, because I think it's on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's on a Tuesday, so we'll probably celebrate it like that Friday or Saturday. But anyway, hope you guys had a great one. Go check out my Stylevana video, like I mentioned. And I did buy a ColourPop mystery box. I don't think it's shipped yet, though. But we'll watch for that. That's coming up soon. And thank you. I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.